before we begin this side quest,
The cases that we will be discussing are based on publicly available sources linked in the description below. Anything beyond that is just our interpretation or opinion.
you decide what to believe. What it do, my guys?
What it do indeed. So tonight we're getting into celebrity deaths.
Yeah, some curious, unsettling, and even controversial ones.
That's right. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. We're going to start off with Mr. Bob Saget, America's dad.
Yeah, this one was sad.
Yep, the
I mean, they're all
comedian,
sad, but
the actor. So on January 8th, 2022, Bob Saget was out on his comedy tour. He stopped off in Jacksonville. He performed, had a great set. He was noted on social media. He
yeah,
was posting about it. He was excited. And then he checked into his hotel at the Ritz-Carlton in Orlando later that evening. And then the official report is January 9th, 2022.
yep.
At approximately 4 p.m., he was found dead in his hotel room by hotel staff after a welfare check.
Yep.
So, the official ruling, I'm going to go ahead and get this right. So, I'm going to read off some note cards. The official chief medical examiner, Joshua Stephanie, of the Orange County, Florida, ruled his cause of death accidental, and the death being caused by blunt head trauma. So, basically, they're saying that he had a slip and fall.
Yep.
And he fractured the base of his skull. He had a few fractures actually.
Yeah, like it was the back of his head and his eye sockets.
Yeah, the orbital sockets had fractures to it. Um, they're claiming that it was from a slip and fall. A lot of neurosurgeons in the research that we do argue that
Yeah. With the severity of the injuries being uh, there was a subdural hematoma, which is bleeding between the brain and the skull. There was also what I think the word is. I forgot to actually get the pronunciation of this. Is subarachnoid hemorrhage, which is bleeding in the brain, like between the little sac that it's in. And then there was also what is the word? What is the word? Got some contusions. What is the word I'm looking for before contusion? Oh, it's just brain contusion.
Yeah, it was a brain contusion.
So
I said it wrong earlier.
yeah, so just brain contusion. So you had bruising on the brain
Yeah,
tissue
the literal
itself.
tissue. Yeah. So fracture to the skull. He had actual bruise on the brain. He had blood in the brain and surrounding the brain.
Yep.
His toxicology read no illegal drugs, just a therapeutic amount of Klonopin and Trazodone.
Yeah, just an antidepressant.
Yeah, they said therapeutic, so there was apparently no like abusing it or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't lead you to believe that he was over medicated and caused the fall.
Yeah.
Um, more of the facts before we deep dive into our side quest of this.
Yeah.
All right. The family was really quick on trying to go ahead and um, put out a statement and say that it was a slip and fall, like we said.
Yeah, just the fall, and he died in his sleep.
Yeah.
It was like the next month, so it was relatively quick that they started the actually sued the sheriff's department and the medical examiner's office. Won the case, so the files are actually sealed forever. Like nobody could ever open them up for any kind of investigation.
Right. They enacted this law called the Earnhardt Law that was enacted after the NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
So Florida made this law saying that they're not going to release any graphic autopsies or like photos related to cases unless it's like a court order. It's a real big deal that you have to go through.
Bob Saget's wife and his 3 daughters wanted the 90 photos and like 57 videos sealed. They didn't want it to be released for people to look at it for curiosity's sake, to wanting to see photos of dead people. We're millennials here. We all know we were on Faces of Death and Rotten.com and all that back in the
Not
day.
Rotten.com.
So
I have no idea what
you
you're
know we
talking
have a
about.
morbid fascination
Yeah.
with this stuff.
And that we appreciate
Yeah.
that 100%. No one, I wouldn't want a meme of my father who had passed. That'd be
Yeah.
a terrible traumatic thing. But the family within a month had started taking legal actions to kind of silence everything, so that I don't want to say silence. They
Yeah,
weren't
silence
trying
is
to.
a hard word.
Yeah,
Not hard, harsh word.
they were doing
It's not like,
their job to.
yeah, his daughters they're on the younger side. I mean, not super young, but they're old enough to be on social media all the time. They don't want to come across pictures of their dad all over the place, so it makes sense. 100%. It's not like they were trying to cover something up.
Yeah, we're not trying to imply that in any kind of way, but they would just wanted to have a public story that he passed away due to a slip and fall, and that's all they wanted out there. Unfortunately, the autopsy report itself did get leaked out to the internet,
Yeah.
and so the family did sue.
Yeah. But with that being out in the internet, and all these people, all these other doctors, ones that didn't autopsy the body, by the way, ones that just read the autopsy reports, they put speculation out there that due to the severity of the injuries, there is no possible way that it was just a simple slip and fall.
Yeah, these types of injuries come from the consistency of being hit with a bat, is what these doctors are saying. A fall from a very high, around 20, 30 feet,
Yeah.
or a high velocity car crash. Now, there is a theory about, lucid activity after a severe head trauma,
Yeah.
where people can get up and walk around and be mobile. But I mean, me personally, I worked in an industrial plant where we made paper and everything.
Yeah.
All your safety equipment, your vision is kind of restricted. I've hit my head severe enough where I blacked out and I was just nauseous the entire day. I was off, and my neck was killing me. Like, I had that much from just a
Yeah.
small whack compared to what this man's trauma is stating that he endured.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. It's hard for me to believe that you would receive some kind of injury like that and just go climb into bed, tuck
Yeah.
yourself in for the night.
But I've also seen theories of like, could the medicine that he was on, not saying that he was abusing it at all, but that maybe possibly could the medication suppressed any kind of symptoms or side effects of said fall, and that's why he was able to function the way he functioned.
Yeah, I mean, I read that too, but I can state, like I said, from personal experiences, taking some kind of head trauma like that. I think if I had a fracture in my head,
Yeah.
I would not be able to get up, be mobile, lucid. He sent out a tweet, a very complex tweet at
Yeah.
around 3 something in the morning.
Yeah.
He was tagging everybody and stuff like that. So we don't know exactly when the fall took place,
Yeah.
but he definitely wouldn't have been able to send that tweet after some kind of head trauma like that. I do not believe.
I don't know. Brain injuries are crazy, man. Like the brain is a very fascinating thing.
But
People could have the slightest bump to the head and have major side effects. And some people, you would think, like I was in a car wreck back in oh 08, 07, 08, and I know I woke up in the car after the accident. So I know I had to have hit my head. Something had to have hit my head. But I was told at the hospital that I had no type of concussion. Like I ended up with a broken collarbone. I broke C7 in my neck. Like it makes no sense to me how I did not have a concussion. So like
yeah,
it's weird. It definitely raises questions that
yeah.
are
The
hard to answer.
the
But
family's choice to get out so early and to have everything removed permanently forever.
Yeah.
That just opened the door for the
Mhm.
internet to run wild with theories and conclusions of their own.
Yeah.
Um,
Because especially nowadays, with the state of the world and way social media is, it's like, do we even trust official narratives anymore when you have these types of evidence, but not evidence. And evidence is not the word I'm looking for here. You have these, these. Lord, what's the word? My brain went bye bye. What's the word?
scenarios,
No, not scenario. So
theories,
you have his injuries
right?
that point to something else.
Right. The stuff just doesn't add up.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not adding up. Like you you endure an injury so severe
yeah,
that the medical professionals, like people that work in the medical field, granted they did not work on this case, but they say from their experience
yeah,
that it is improbable.
yeah.
The likelihood of that is
I mean, there people also state how clean the room was, but again, we didn't get to see
yeah,
any of the footage from body cams or videos taken in the room for the evidence, the crime scene reports or any
yeah.
pictures of the body. So we don't know if there actually was any kind of evidence of a fall in the room. So that's hard to.
The official police report reads that it was an orderly state. So that suggests that there was no struggle, no anything like
Oh,
that.
well, yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there wasn't evidence that he struck his head somewhere. Just because it was an orderly state doesn't mean there was not impact marks or evidence of his hair or blood anywhere.
Right. But the headboard was padded. It was a carpeted room. There were no extreme hard surfaces such as like marble or granite.
I don't know.
So yeah, there's just a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of
Yeah,
strangeness to it
it
that
is definitely one of those.
it makes you think.
It definitely is a head scratcher. I definitely say so.
That's why we question everything.
Oh yeah. So next one. This one's a bit older. I was in eighth grade when this happened. Miss Aaliyah.
Yeah. So some this is actually gaining some
Oh yeah, with all the recent activity on a certain producer out there.
yeah, quite a few people that have been in the public eye for a while that have been getting in some trouble.
Yeah,
And have been convicted of some things, but
yeah.
then we got some
Uh,
documentaries coming, I think, isn't there?
I'm not 100%. I'm
Or a movie.
yeah. But Miss Aaliyah had been in the Bahamas on August 25th of 2001. She was in the Bahamas recording the music video for Rock the Boat. After filming wrapped, everybody was tired and, ready to go. There was a, you know, report saying that the hotel didn't have any hot water and all this, and they were just ready to get back to Miami. So on August 25th, they loaded up into a Cessna 402B. So it's a little bit smaller than what they arrived in. Mm. And there was also witnesses stating that, well, alleged witnesses, excuse me, let me make sure that we put that in there. There's alleged witnesses stating that there was a argument between um, either staff or Aaliyah production company staff and the pilot that the plane was overweight. That with all the passengers on the plane, all the equipment and luggage, the plane was almost 1,000 pounds overweight. And the Cessna was a 4 point there. It was 4.4 aft, which means that it is rear heavy, so it would make the nose of the plane want to uh,
Lift.
pop up like uncontrollably, which is what happened. And unfortunately, after takeoff, the plane crashed and burst into flames 200 yards from the end of the runway. It is said that Aaliyah died of um, severe burns and, again, blunt force, a blow to the head and coupled with shock. It is reported that all um, of Aaliyah and five other people were killed on impact, but her bodyguard, Scott Gallen, survived the initial impact
Yeah.
and he died later at the hospital and whatnot. But there's a whole bunch on this one. It's one of those ones where it was preventable with all the evidence that came out, like with the what is his name? Luis Morales III was the pilot, and it was his first day on the job with Black Hawk International Airways. He was not FAA, FFA. No, I was right. FAA certified to fly that specific aircraft with the company, and upon autopsy report state that he had cocaine and alcohol in his system. So he should not have been flying that plane at all.
Yeah. First day and piece of equipment you are not certified for.
Yeah.
I mean, training on the job, training under fire, that's whatever, but not something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not certified, don't do it.
Yeah, no. Aaliyah's parents did file for wrongful death against Black Hawk International Airways, Virgin Records, and what's the name of that company? Instinctual Productions. The the lawsuit was finalized in 2003 for an undisclosed amount, but there are a lot of speculations on that too because her uncle was one of the people who, launched her career. It was he started the company for Aaliyah, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of speculation out there that there was a life insurance policy taken out on her very shortly before the incident for like 90 million.
Yeah, that was never proven.
No.
There's been no documentation of anything like that happening. That was one of those urban legends that surrounded this death.
Yeah, but there's also like speculation that the production company like cut was trying to cut costs and get them out of there as soon as possible with not providing certain things that needed to be provided for a person of her stature, in my opinion.
Yeah, there was definitely cutting cost, and they were doing things, especially with the reports of the unsavory conditions of where they were staying in the
Yeah.
Bahamas, and then using a unreputable, fairly new company. Obviously, that was not a responsible company. They're letting
Yeah.
hungover cocaine people fly planes. Um, Aaliyah was a big one though. Uh, it is a terrible tragedy. We just recently watched some stuff
Yeah.
upon our research, and man, it's just the things that happened to that poor girl. She got
Yeah.
out of the industry.
Very young.
Yeah, very young. She started making waves and making a name for herself at 14 years old. And she was 22 when she passed, and it's very tragic. Everyone failed her in that situation.
Yeah.
The people closest to her that were supposed to take care of her and protect her failed at her. I'm sorry.
They failed at her.
Yeah, they failed her. That's how choked up I am. It's a very sad story.
Yeah.
Forget all the theories that are around it. It is a sad one.
Yeah. Those theories like makes you scratch your head with some of those theories that people put out there, especially some of the darker assumptions
Yeah, there's
that yeah.
sacrifices and all kinds of things people are throwing out there.
But at the end of the day, a young woman in her prime, not even in her prime,
Yeah.
coming into her
she
prime.
she set the fashion world on fire.
Yeah.
She set the music industry on fire. She was breaking out into fumes. She was breaking out into films. And Queen of the Damned is a great film.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's where I was first, not introduced to Aaliyah, but like as her as an actress, and then I watched Romeo Must Die.
Yeah.
You didn't know she was in The Matrix, which blew my mind yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
with you,
As many times as I've seen those movies.
yeah,
Wow. So, Brittany Murphy.
Brittany
Another
Murphy.
tragic one.
Yeah,
I am a huge Brittany Murphy fan.
yeah. This one's a curious case because like everything makes sense but doesn't at the same time. Like it could be just it was technically an open and shut case. Like
Yeah, it's still surrounded in weirdness
Yeah,
and
definitely.
suspicion. Like,
So I'll tell you the facts. So on December 20th, 2009, Brittany's mother found her unconscious in the bathroom after she had been complaining that she couldn't breathe. Um, the ambulance was called to her residence at 2121 Rising Glen Road in Los Angeles, California. She was taken to the hospital where she later died at 10:04 a.m. 5 months later, on May 23rd, 2010, her husband, Simon Monjack, I'm guessing, I'm thinking that's how
yeah,
his name
that's
is.
close
Yeah.
enough.
But he was found dead in the same house, same room. Cause of death, exact same. So the official cause of death is severe pneumonia, anemia, and mixed with the over the counter and prescription medications that they were taking. It is said that there was possible toxic mold in the house, according to her mother.
Yeah, that is the theory that the mother has stated
Yeah,
since the beginning.
and she filed, I think in 2011, tried to sue the attorneys for not properly investigating the mold in the house, but it was later dropped. But the coroner's, what's his name, Ed Winter, stated that there were no signs of mold in the autopsy. But it is curious because the mother lived in the house with them,
Yeah,
and it was always claimed that that house was damp and unlucky feeling. Britney Spears originally owned the house, and Brittany Murphy purchased it from her back in 2003. Brittany is reported to say that the house felt haunted and possessed, and she promptly moved out shortly after moving in. So it's this one's a weird one because there's reports of her father getting hair that he had taken from her. I guess before she was buried, or I don't know if she was buried or if she was cremated, but he had hair that he sent off to a independent lab to get tested, and it came back with very very high levels of heavy metals like selenium and um I just forgot all the names. But anyway, it's commonly found in rat poison and stuff like that.
yeah,
So
pesticides and stuff.
yeah, so it's speculated that it was poisoning.
Yeah, her biological father was stating heavy metal poisoning, but yet she
Yeah,
had anemia.
she was severely anemic.
I'm not any kind of medical person at all, but
Iron
that sounds
deficiency,
yeah.
bulimia, by the way. I mean, not bulimia,
Mhm.
anemia.
Yeah. Um, but her mother proposed this theory about toxic mold and swearing that it was the toxic mold, but she never suffered from it. But
Yeah.
she lived
Is
in
she still alive?
she lived in the same house
Oh, yeah.
for forever. Like, because that's a whole nother story about
Well,
bringing.
that whole situation,
Yeah,
her mother, her husband, that
that's
was a very toxic relationship, and
that's a whole episode's worth
yeah,
of unraveling
there
right
are
there.
also speculations that the poisoning comes from her husband's side, that he owed people money or there were visa issues or something along those lines. So maybe there's speculation that it was hush hits. But she also has ties with another certain person we talked about earlier as well.
Yeah, uh, that is the running theme with tonight for sure.
Oh yeah.
Hollywood or Holly Weird, as the internet likes to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Holly Weird, that is probably the best interlude to our
Yeah.
next one,
The most controversial one of the bunch, I would say.
Mr. Isaac Kappy. If you guys run in the conspiracy theory underbellies of the internet like I do, you are very, very familiar with Mr. Isaac Kappy. Uh, he blew up on the internet and social medias. He was an actor. He was in Thor.
He was in Thor, and he was in Terminator Salvation. Also in a few TV shows. I know for sure he was in Breaking Bad. I'm not sure of anything else off the top of my head.
Right. So he did a little bit of film. Um, Then he got on the internet and he started making some claims. He started naming celebrity A-listers, the top people,
The
and
elite of the
yeah,
elite.
he was making some claims, some very, some very strong claims. I'm not going to repeat what he said. Go look him up. It's something very interesting, I promise you. So on May 13th, 2019, uh, he supposedly jumped off of a bridge. I didn't.
Not
Okay,
necessarily. That's not. He didn't jump off a bridge. Well, yes, he did jump off a bridge, but it is stated that it was a struggle. Like there were two people who tried to stop him, and he forced himself off this bridge.
right. And then he was struck by
A
a
Ford
Ford
pickup.
vehicle. Yep. And he succumbed to his injuries. So there were witnesses there that said that they saw at least two people
Hmm.
trying to subdue him and stop him from jumping from
Yeah,
the
they were trying to
bridge.
forcibly take him off the edge.
So his final post,
Yeah.
that is a spiral and a half. If you can go on Instagram or YouTube, I don't know. It's probably not on Instagram anymore. It's definitely out there on YouTube. You can find it in a bunch of different places. You find anything you need to know about him on Reddit. I don't know if 4chan's still a thing.
I don't know. I didn't really know. Well, I've heard about 4chan. I never went on to it, so I can't tell you. I never even thought to look to see if it was still a
No.
thing to even do any kind of conspiracy research on this man.
Yeah, I've never really messed with 4chan, but
Mm-mm.
it's titled "Beware the Man That Has Nothing to Lose, for He Has Nothing to Protect." It is a rambling of incoherence at sometimes, and he calls himself out. He makes several apologies and confessions. Um, Prior in his videos, he talks about a dead man trigger, in which, in case of his death, that all this information and all these facts that he had been building and all this evidence he had on all these people would be exposed.
Yeah.
Um, as far as the internet has any kind of information, nothing has ever surfaced. So, did he have something and someone was able to get to it? We don't know. But Issac Kappy is the iconic conspiracy theorist. Um, he always stated in his videos that he was never suicidal. He was very happy,
Yeah.
except for his last message. He did not state he was not suicidal in that message, but it was a it was a very different message in very different video than anything he's ever done before, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
But wasn't it? Could he have just been obsessively paranoid?
I mean, it is a possibility. I mean, people have their thoughts and their opinions on it for sure. He he may have had some kind of break and he just lost it and
Yeah.
whatever.
We
He
don't. I mean, are there any reports out there of any kind of mental illness from him?
in my research, I did not find anything where he had any issues or he had to
Any
go to any counseling or anything like that prior to any of this.
any drug use?
None reported.
None reported. So it's not like he could have went on a bender, broke mentally, and just went off.
I mean, it's supposed that is always a
I
possibility.
mean, it is a possibility. Some drugs don't stay in your system very long, so it could have
Yeah.
just mentally broke him, and then just he went on from there. So of course there would be no drug in his system.
Right. And with him being the type of person he was and everything, I'm sure that there was not too many deep dives or investigations into
Yeah,
any of that. It
he was just a
seemed,
whistleblower, so they were
yeah,
hate to say it, but they were glad to be rid of him type
yeah.
situation. So
For most of the internet community, he was probably a kook that,
yeah.
like you said, he broke or he got high and lost his mind and then jumped off a bridge.
But why do these stories still bother people? Is it the fact that humans hate unanswered questions, or is it a natural instinct of us to have these questions of things that have weird unanswered questions like these cases do, or not necessarily unanswered questions, but like open-ended
Yeah,
questions. Like
the
there's
things just don't add up.
yeah, and like
The
the facts that we are given don't match the claims or the answers that they try to give us.
there's there's speculation or there's evidence that may come up years later that now questions the official story
Yeah,
or the story as we know it in general.
yeah. The internet definitely knows how to turn tragedy into lore. I tell you that.
That is for sure. I know for me personally, it's the I want to know. I for whatever I don't know if it's my traumas or if it's my autism. I just got to know. I want to know what's going on. I need to know. So I want to absorb all the information. I look at all the angles. I see, okay, let me go down this rabbit hole. And at some point, that rabbit hole leads me to something. I'm like, oh, all right, I've had enough of this one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
Uh,
let me go down this one.
Doing all these deep dives, definitely when I deep dived into Isaac Kappy, and it has brought me back to other celebrities that started acting weird and then ended up dead from one way or another, whether it be an unaliving, an overdose, or a tragic accident. Do Holly? It popped in my head, and I was sitting there. I was like, you know what? I mean, that's a good question, but it's a very woo woo question too. Do the Hollywood people, especially the Hollywood elites and stuff, have some kind of quote unquote kill switch to where if they start making big enough waves or trying to out certain things that Hollywood doesn't want out in the public, that they hit said kill switch and certain things start happening. So it looks like a mental break. It looks like an unaliving. It looks like an overdose after, being years sober or not ever any kind of accounts of doing said things.
I mean, it is very suspicious, and there are numerous internet um, rabbit holes or claims, if you want to call them that. Of I
You good? Need a sip of water?
lost it for a second.
It's just why, in my opinion, it would be easier for them to have some type of kill switch than having to get their hands dirty and something ultimately leading back to them.
It is strange that a lot of these people, sorry guys, a lot of these people, like you say, they do start to spiral out, and then strange things happen to them,
Yeah.
and so it opens up the what if. And well, now we dig in and we see, okay, well, this and this seems really weird. So can we trust?
Yeah.
Can we trust what you're telling me? But the celebrity thing is weird because you have those ones that seem like they can just ramble on, and they can give all of the Hollywood secrets, and they can say all these outlandish things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know who they are out there. They're just out there running their mouth,
Yeah.
and nothing happens to them except for you see them a few months later after their latest internet thing that they end up arrested somewhere or something, or they get checked into some kind of rehab or something, and that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's like they rein them back in and they do some type of they give them something that calms them down. It's like they do this break because they're mad because maybe they haven't been getting the parts or they've been ignored for this or they haven't been getting residuals from this, so they start to tell secrets to get the attention of the higher ups, and the higher ups, either choose to placate them by giving them what they want, so that's when they go to rehab, or they might start becoming big again, or they decide to get rid of them and hit that kill switch, so you have all the things that happen to these people.
I mean, Kanye has practically said that out loud. He has said that,
Yeah.
you know, it, when he went all crazy and stuff, and then they sent him to rehab, like they scrambled his brain or whatever. Like it's hard to keep up with all the claims that Kanye says.
This is a topic for another episode, but I will mention it here. the mind erasure thing. That they send these people to this clinic. I can't remember the name of the clinic off the top of my head. I knew I should have wrote it down somewhere because I thought about it and I was like, well, it doesn't really fit with this episode, but like it kind of, I guess if you connect the dots here, kind of would if this were the case. Like you start making waves, they send you to this clinic, they do the mind eraser thing, and then you come back and you either play the game or you still make waves because you're not happy and they get rid of you.
Right. That's why you'll see certain celebrities like they don't do nothing for a decade, and then all of a sudden they just come out and they're
Yeah.
just like the hottest thing again.
Yeah.
They're in all the movies. Everybody wants them. They're in all the commercials.
Yeah.
Like, what happened, man? You have not been relevant for a decade.
Yeah.
Like that is strange. Or again, you have like people like Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
She has always been controversial. Her entire career, she's always been controversial. She has said whatever.
Yeah.
And
they just let her do what she wants.
So she said some stuff back in the day. They kind of blackballed her from the industry.
Yeah.
She wasn't doing anything, and then she got back on TV. She started making waves again. She got an ambient out,
Yeah.
and then now she's been blackballed again, and
Yeah.
now she's just some crazy kook that goes
Yeah.
smoke cigarettes and goes on like Kill Tony and hangs out with Pauly Shore. So sorry, Roseanne, I love you.
Yes, we will always love you, Roseanne.
Yeah, I got your back, Roseanne.
I got your front. Tell me where that's from, guys. Please tell me you know.
Holly Weird.
Holly Weird.
That is a r/Holly Weird for real.
Oh yeah, there will probably be many, many, many episodes on Holly Weird. I can tell you that much because I have lots of questions.
You guys got some ones want to talk about? Let us know. Drop it in the comments.
Yeah, message us. All. I know I forgot to add our email address in the description of the last episode. I promise I will do better this time, and I will add it this time. I swear. I swear. I asked for. Huh?
What kind of swearing was this?
That Pinky does its own thing. You know this. I can't live long and prosper over here. I can live long. I can't prosper.
I can vanilla ice.
I can't do that either. My fingers don't work like that. These bones are like connected in some weird way. But yeah, I promise. I will add our email in the description so you can send us your stories. Or if you want to message us on or DM us. I don't think you can DM on YouTube.
No, but you can follow us on social medias like TikTok.
Yeah. Instagram.
Yep.
You can DM us there. You can email me.
Facebook if you're old like us.
Yeah. I'm pretty much everywhere.
Yep. We definitely have another one in the pipeline with some more celebrities. We're interested to see who you guys want us to talk about next. Maybe we'll add them in.
I'll give you a little sneak peek. So maybe you can drop people that you want to see in this episode. I have a list of like 5, but I know there's probably plenty more out there. But it's the soul swapping.
Soul swapping.
Maybe not even swapping. But we won't get into that.
Ooh, teaser. So, if you guys like this episode, to help us make more just like that, just go ahead and subscribe, like, share this with your friends, tell the whole world about us.
Yes.
We're questioning everything. We love you guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Deuces.
All right.
Bye.
We're out.
Ocha.